Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Miami Heat Chronicles. My name is Amir. I'm joined again today by my co-host Martel. You can find Martel at the Miami Heat Zone podcast. Don't forget to go to his podcast and his channel and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well, Team to Beat Miami Heat. How are you doing today, Martel?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready to talk some Miami Heat hoops.
Likewise, man. And there's not a lot of new things to report right now. So there's one thing that this Miami Heat needs to do this offseason. There's multiple things we need to do, quite frankly. But one thing we need to do in particular is add some size to this roster right now. And more importantly, right now, we need to figure out who's going to be our backup center this off season because Orlando Robinson, I believe, was given a standard contract for last season, but I don't think it's guaranteed next year. And he's still kind of raw, didn't get too much playing time, was in and out of the G League. So I don't know if we could depend on him per se. Thomas Bryant has a player option, so we'll see what happens. He might pick it up, he might not. I'm assuming at age 26, wants to play more, obviously, had a bunch of DMPs this season, which is which is unfortunate to certain Heat fans. Some fans wanted to see him play a little bit more, even though he's not the best defender or best backup big. But anyway, we have no salary cap right now. We're in the first apron, so we're gonna have to go to the bottom of the barrel as usual with the free agency pool. Which do you know what day in July it is? I forgot. July 18th or 14th, somewhere around there.
Something like that. I.
Yeah, so mid July, we'll be able to sign and negotiate with some free agents. And so for today, I want to talk about a couple options and ask you your opinion on who are some guys for cheap. We have to pay the veteran minimum, which is like $3 million. That's all we got. Like anybody on that free agency list at the center position, do you think that the Miami Heat can add? And again, we're on Donovan Mitchell watch. We know we need to add a whale. We need to add at least a DeJounte Murray, a Brandon Ingram. Like ideally, that's what we want. But in reality, we got to be real. We have no money right now, and we're not really speculated to actually get a real star this offseason, right? So who kind of pops up to you like off that list at the bottom of that barrel that you think could make an impact if they get in the Miami Heat system?
Well, the first thing that people have to remember is that, like, I know a lot of people will call, like Russell Westbrook trash or Drummond or Bol Bol, when the list goes on. But we have to be realistic here. We don't really have all the money in the world, just to go out and get like a Valanciunas or a Vucevic or just all these other, just big name big men. We have to remember that the Miami Heat can think about it. If they can turn the undrafted guys into all these gems, my first option is Bol Bol. He's 7'3". He averaged 5.2 points, 3.2 rebounds. Now, I know that his stats don't jump off the screen, but remember, we did draft him. Yes, we did trade him down the line, but I just think that Bol Bol at 7'3" has so much potential, you know, with his length, his athleticism, his handle at 7'3", his shooting ability. He's a guy that can definitely space the floor. He is young legs. So we as Heat fans got to remember is that, listen, we can't go out and get all these elite big men. We don't know really who's going to be on this roster outside of Jimmy and Bam, only because of all the trade rumors. But for sure, as a backup big, I definitely like Bol Bol, and I think that he's a guy where you're bringing NBA talent onto your roster. I understand that we have guys like, Orlando Robinson and even Thomas Bryant, which I honestly do think that we should bring back Thomas Bryant if he's willing to come back for a decent role. Bol Bol is one of my number one picks because just his overall talent is what I want to see. What can Eric Spoelstra do with a 7'3" guy who can kind of play in his system? I think that's like the biggest thing. We always try to talk about, who are the big mans that can play next to Bam. I think Bol Bol can. Floor spacer, he could push the pace, he could lead the fast break. He's everything that you would need in a Miami Heat system.
And he's young. He's 24, and he only played, it looks like, 11 minutes per game to get the 5-3 that you mentioned. He shot 43%, I think. 42% last season, only on 1.2 attempts. So that doesn't say a lot there, honestly. But he has the ability to put the ball on the floor, like you've said, and spread the floor to a certain degree. He's not going to put up 6, 7, 8 threes, but he could spread the floor. And how's his rim protection? I haven't watched a lot of Bol Bol. Like, I know he
He's
hasn't
a
played a
decent
lot.
defender, but we're not in the position to say, well, we don't want Bol Bol, but then we're going to take some random free agent guy who's going to sit on the end of the bench anyways. I would rather take the NBA talent, and I want to see what can Eric Spoelstra do with NBA players. The undrafted stuff is cool. I'm not saying that we shouldn't go that route, but I'm talking about NBA guys where I just think that Bol Bol, he has not been in the right system. How is this guy 7'3" and he's not even playing? I don't know. Like, I just don't even understand that at all. Yes, he might have some, maybe some locker room issues or some minor issues on the court, but I'm talking about in a Miami Heat Eric Spoelstra system. I want to see what real NBA talent can do.
Gotcha. So give me another option.
And
Who
then
do you think can help
we
us?
got to go with Drummond. He's a former double machine. He's a guy that was on the Chicago Bulls. And that's the thing. I think that with Drummond and Bol Bol, I think that we can give them a major role here. Kevin Love, yes, Kevin Love might resign, and we do have Jovic, but we just can't count on Kevin Love as our backup big. He's not gonna play all 82 games. So I just think that like another guy in Drummond, he would be perfect at the backup big. He gives you the size, he gives you the rebounding, and that's what this Miami Heat team needs. We need to take some of the pressure off of, Bam Adebayo, and try to help him just in the paint because each of these teams that we're gonna name, the Celtics, they're huge. You know what I mean? The Milwaukee Bucks, they're not going anywhere. The Pacers, they're not going anywhere. We have to be able to take some of the pressure off of Bam Adebayo, and who knows, maybe Bam can sometimes play the four that can allow him to roam a little bit more, and then that center that we bring in can hold down the paint just at times.
Yeah, Drummond, I think, is a good fit. I made a video on that a while back, and he played like 12, 13 minutes a game and like average like 8 rebounds, 9 points, like almost a double double in 12 minutes. And this backup big is most likely gonna play 10 to 20-minute range. Like, it could be different every single night, but I mean, Kevin Love as our backup big, obviously we're trying to save his legs, for the playoffs. He played like 14 or 15 minutes a game himself. I could see those minutes going down to 12 per game. And I could see him moving over to the power forward. If, let's say, we don't make any trades and we lose Caleb Martin and Haywood, we're going to have to find some other free agents. And we've already made some videos on replacements for those two guys. But I think if Jovic is going to be the starting four next to Bam, then Kevin Love, who is undersized, he's not a real center. Neither is Bam. He was a power forward. He can play behind Jovic, right, for those 12, 13 minutes per game. And then again, we need someone, whether it's Thomas Bryant if he resigns, if it's Orlando Robinson if we guarantee his contract, we don't know yet, or adding in that third option, which could be, I think Drummond makes more sense because he said a better career, more tested career than Bol Bol, obviously, and he's a double double machine. Like, that guy averaged 15 rebounds in a season before, right? Like, and he's only 30 years old, so he's still young enough, younger than Kevin Love, who's 35 and not a true center. So I think coming off the bench, Jovic, or excuse me, Hawkes, Kevin Love, Drummond, that's a good starting point right there. Obviously, we need to figure out who we're going to get for our backup point guard. I'm assuming we're going to hopefully let Mills go, but are we going to re-sign Wright? Who are we going to sign for Haywood if he leaves? There's a lot of questions that are unanswered, but I agree. I think I'm more interested in Drummond versus Bol Bol. But anyway, that's all we have for this quick episode today. This was episode 3 of the Miami Heat Chronicles. Martel and I, throughout the entire summer, are going to continue to give you guys more videos, especially when there's new reports that come out regarding Jimmy Butler, or if there's any rumors and speculation around new trade targets. We'll come up with some more content for you guys throughout the summer. But anyway, don't forget to, again, like, comment, share, and subscribe to both of our channels. Thanks again, Martel.
Thanks for having me.